We're back with the fabulous Candy Spelling, and her Broadway shows include Promises with, I'm looking for the prompters rolling, with Sean Hayes and Kristen Chenoweth, and After Midnight, right? But you have your 4th Tony nomination now, right?
You know, we actually, last week got 7 Tony nominations, including Best Musical.
Oh my goodness,
For After Midnight?
For After Midnight, which is running now on Broadway.
Candy, how did you get into that Broadway genre? Did you always love theater and musicals growing up as a child, or was it something you had been exposed to?
Oh, I wanted to be Fred Astaire when I was little.
I love that.
I always loved musicals, but it's interesting. The 2 gentlemen that wrote the foreword for my book, Craig Zaden and Neil Marin, we were doing a television project together, and they said, please come join us on our road. We've never done Broadway before, about to do it. We would love to have you join us. And I read the script, loved it, and that was Promises.
Now, is there a musical, not the ones that you're involved with, but a musical that you're not involved with that is kind of on your bucket list that you one day maybe would hope to want to work with, or is that your favorite?
I actually, we're in the throes of doing Houdini. It was supposed to be with Hugh Jackman. But because you've got so much of it going from scratch, it's way too much time for him to invest. And I was a little disappointed because I thought
he would have been perfect.
Oh my God!
Yeah, he would.
But he really wanted to do it. So, yeah, I have some things in them. You know, they're all fun. They're all fun, or I wouldn't pick them.
How many books have you written?
This is my 2nd book.
Your 2nd book?
Yes, yes.
And tell me the writing experience. Tell me what, you know, do you sit down and does it just come through you? Or do you sit down, do you agonize going back and forth? Do you self-edit along the way?
Oh, I self-edit. This was I mean, I can't tell you how many times it was self-edited. And I just, but there, you know, there are stories. I have so many more that I've never told. I want to write a book someday just on, I have an entire file of love letters and poems and songs that my husband wrote me.
Oh my gosh, you have to.
Yes.
Poems, that's the language of romance, or
Yes.
is poetry. And we don't use that anymore.
No, but there was something very special in our relationship. It was not your usual relationship, and I was a very lucky person.
And you said soulmate.
Soulmate.
You knew it was a destined thing.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like, I'm sorry, Susie, what was it like caring for him as he was getting...
With Alzheimer's.
Right, I know he was having some issues with that, and how difficult that must have been.
It was difficult because, you know, he was just such a huge presence in Hollywood. And so, you know, he didn't want anyone to know how sick he really was. And so I was not only his caretaker, I was the keeper of his image. I didn't want, you know, I really, not until the very, very end did anyone know how sick he really was. It was important that, you know, I protect him.
Because the illness was about through a 2-year span, did that help you say goodbye because it lasted so long and you knew he was suffering? What do we pull from ourselves?
You know what? You never know when you're saying goodbye. It's a hard thing. I mean, I was in total denial when it was happening, and he was a little further along than he should have been before I realized it. But I think I was in denial. I just, you know, I thought, well, he had just been through a bout of throat cancer. You know, he smoked a pipe, and he kept saying, "I'm not inhaling it," but he'd hold it on this side of the mouth, and he got it on that side. So, he just kind of slowed down after all this radiation, and unfortunately, you know, so it ended up being longer. He was totally cancer-free, but.
Wow.
Was there a difference in your ages very much?
23 years.
23 years.
But I never thought of it.
See, that's what's so remarkable, because I don't believe you didn't think about it.
Didn't think about it when I met him, and I didn't think about it when I married him. And I don't know, it never occurred to me that, well, you know, the odds are that he's going to certainly, you know, not outlive me. Never thought of it that way.
What was the thing you think that when you first met him you loved? Did you know him by reputation, or when you met him, what was the first thing that said, oh, I really liked him? I really like it.
There was just, there was definitely a physical connection.
No.
Definitely.
Hey, hey.
And he was very suave and very, you know, he had a way with words that was, I mean, he was an incredible writer, so, you know, I
Well,
learned from the best. What can I
All great
say?
information in this book, and you have to check it out. Even the pictures are so much fun. I loved looking at these. And don't forget, you can meet Candy tomorrow night at her book signing. It's at 7 p.m. at the Barnes & Noble on Northwest Highway, across from North Park Center here in Dallas. Thanks so much, Candy. We appreciate
We
you.
loved it that we hope you'll come back.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Please
for
do.
having me. I
Please do.
enjoyed
so
this.
much.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk with Olympic medalist Dara Torres about teaming up with the National Association of School Nurses to educate moms on how meningitis can affect their kids, especially teens. You won't want to miss these tips. Come back.